What's the weirdest social norm that nobody seems to question? Working 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5 days a week. Why does everyone have to be at work at the same time? If you work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., you are never able to go to the bank, post office, anything like that because they are also open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But there are people out there who think that you don't have a real job unless you work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and it's never questioned why they think that way. I completely agree. I work nights, usually from like 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., and I feel so much more productive. I wake up at like noon or 1 p.m. I can go to all those 9 to 5 places without having to worry about rush hour traffic, and then I go to work, repeat. It feels like I have so much extra time compared to my 9 to 5 friends. Interesting, when I work nights I felt like I had no free time. Work, sleep, dinner, can't do anything productive, drink a beer, and all my friends are working now because I'm going to work. Payroll was nice though. Not to mention the otherwise avoidable traffic it causes. This usually gets mentioned a lot, but I haven't seen it in this thread. It's perfectly acceptable for a woman to wear a bikini, and you will even see this on children's programs on television. However, bra and panties, which appear to be the exact same thing and show the same amount of skin, are a no-no. The only real difference is that we decided in our minds that one is for swimming and the other functions as undergarments. My ex, the mother of my kids, will sometimes change in front of my kids. Not nude, she leaves her bra and panties on. However, anyone who has seen this throws a fit. Usually it's just the changing of a shirt. But they still go ape shit. Every time I ask what the difference is between this and her wearing a bikini, never do I get a reasonable counter-argument. I think I'm more confused by how many people apparently watch your ex getting changed. Have you not seen it yet? I always feel really exposed and naked when swimming in a bikini, more so than being in underwear. For fuck's sake, the material gets so wet and clingy when you're swimming. If we answer anything other than good to how are you, then we are caught off guard. How are you? Fucking terrible. Good to he. Wait, what? One time I meant to say, not bad, how about you, but it came out like this. Them, how's it going? Me, not going. About you. And I said this while still walking past them, so I just kept going instead of stopping and correcting myself or giving them a chance to respond. I felt so stupid. My favorite response to, how are you, has got to be, better now that you're here. So unexpected and instantly makes the person feel good. Not really a social norm, but it just blows my mind that tall buildings actually skip naming floor 13. Goes right from 12 to 14 because of retarded superstition. Adults do this. By the way, I've lived on the 13th floor for 5 years. Russia has all the floor numbers. Try living in Vancouver, land of, we don't use the number 4. How when we see someone that we kind of know in public, we do not acknowledge them and pretended to not know who they are. Please don't see me, please don't see me, please don't see me. Hey. Shit. I hate moments like these. Today I went for lunch with my mom and the waitress was someone from high school whose name I couldn't remember. She said hi to me and started asking me questions about life after high school. She didn't say her name like waitresses usually do because she assumed I would remember her name. It was awkward. We clap when someone does something we like. Oh, it took 25 years of training for you to sing that aria perfectly? Let me mash my hands back and forth in approval. It's because the louder you are, the more they know you approve. The nod. No one ever taught me how to do the nod, but whenever I make eye contact and do it, I receive one. Whenever someone does the nod to me, I do it back. Also, to add a bit more, there are 2 nods. I throw the up nod at familiar faces, the down at strangers. In the car, though, the nod can communicate a vast number of different things, as someone buried pointed out. Nice car, I see you, you go, thanks, let's race, etc. IRC, it's ingrained in us. If you notice with friends, you nod upward, exposing the neck and signaling your friends. Strangers, you nod down, covering the throat and showing respect, completely subconscious. You were taught by seeing it. There are lots of things that you do that you weren't sat down and specifically taught. This one has always bothered me in a weird way. You are expected to grow a certain plant, in a certain way in front of your house. And if you do not take care of it, let it get unruly, your neighbors will call the government on you, who will force you to do it, or they will come do it themselves. This post is very anti-grass. And it wastes an insane amount of water. Here in CA, the local water district will actually pay people to replace their lawn with something drought-tolerant. Woman wears skirt. It gives her comfort. Man wears skirt. Everyone is butthurt. I just really want to wear skirts. One of these days, I'll give up on society and just do it. Buy yourself a kilt, and if anyone asks about it, put on your best Scottish accent, practice first, and start shouting things like you go a problem with teach a laddie? Nobody messes with an angry Scotsman. I am of English descent. I'm going to place this on my list of efficient ways to get thoroughly beaten up. Speaking as a Scottish woman, I find it cute when English folk wear kilts. They always look so happy and a bit bemused by the new sensation of ball freedom. You can take our pants, but you will never take our freedom. I don't want to wear a skirt, but I'd be more than happy to wear robes if society didn't think it so odd. It could still have pockets, my junk could breathe, and it would be way more comfortable. It's considered polite for a guest to offer to help clean up after being invited to dinner, but the host is supposed to decline. I don't know, I will help most of the time I'm over, but I usually decline help myself for other reasons. I really don't want to bother the guests. I feel like they should be treated properly, and I would expect them to do the same for me. I don't really like people touching my stuff. Sometimes, it's a way of stepping out. Like if my girlfriend's parents are over, I'll just take the plates and start cleaning the dishes while she's chatting with her parents. It's a way to quickly move to the next step of the evening. So in Russia, when somebody asks you, "How's your day going?" or "How are you?" we respond with how it really is. So if you're having a bad day, you tell the person. In America, the response is either positive or usually nothing less than okay when talking to someone other than a friend or family. I get that it's a small talk kind of greeting, but OMG, it bugs me. I'm in Romania, and if you answer good every time you see that same person, as you would in America, they grow suspicious here that you're hiding something. No one can possibly have a good day every day. He's a liar. I sort of like that. Kind of forces you to keep it real. That carrying a small, convenient bag of items you'd like to have with you day to day is somehow feminine and worthy of derision when men do it, unless it falls in some narrow subgroup that's been deemed acceptable for some reason, like messenger bag or a briefcase. I've had some people tell me it's because men don't use makeup, but I hardly do. My purse is full of handy things like my reading glasses, sunglasses, pens and paper, a mini first aid kit, USB stick, Tylenol. I cringe at the thought of hypothetically not being allowed to have those things with me when I need, because carrying a handbag isn't something my gender does. At least men's clothes get usable pockets. Fucking Christ. We only have a greeting for people who are far, waving, and people who are close, how are you? So if you are walking towards someone and you see him in the distance, you can wave. Then there is this awkward part in between where you already waved but can't say, "How are you?" yet. If you wave too soon, this phase can be extremely long and uncomfortable, at least to me. Weddings. We blow all our money on one day that often turns out to be stressful and exhausting. Cutting the foreskin off an infant male penis. But how will I tell God I love him if not via cutting off parts of my child? In India, outside of metros, romantic love is seen as a terrible, terrible thing. For example, even if you fall in love with someone from the same class, caste, and God knows what else as you, just the fact that it's not a match fixed up by the elders means that people in your family's society might look down on you. And the strangest thing is, almost every Indian movie, irrespective of region or language, but this is especially the case for Bollywood, is centered around romantic love. And the strange thing is, this is so accepted even a young person exposed to Western culture may not think of this as strange until they really think about it. People posting everything about their lives online. The constant need to look different every day. If you wear perfectly clean clothes 2 days in a row, you're treated like a social pariah. After saying goodbye, it's awkward to walk in the same direction. So usually one makes up a reason to go somewhere else, for a short time. Sometimes a coworker and I will leave the office at the same time and walk to the train station. I hate this because I feel obligated to walk with them, and this person is slow, and I'm not really interested in having a conversation with them. So then we get to the train station, and now, am I supposed to sit with them? I'm not sure. The whole situation is completely awkward. Child beauty pageants. Do you want someone looking at your 7-year-old child as a sexual object? That's why they banned them in France. Hopefully this continues through the world. Every one of us just goes about their business. Think about it. You walk in the city, you see thousands of people, but they never question what the other is doing and they don't interact unless predetermined or necessary. It's a curious thing, how we just ignore everyone else. Here you have millions of people, each and every one unique, but we only interact with a select 200 or so in our daily lives. Of course, if we were to greet every one person that we see, it would be quite an exhausting life. But I find it fascinating that we ignore others so easily. Am I making sense here? Or is it just another dumb thing I've said? What's the weirdest social norm that nobody seems to question? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.